Hi, hello everyone. Hello, this is your girl Deborah Vines Epps, and this is Kenya. Wait, I'm Kenya. Wait. Listen, y'all, we are back, and what I mean by being back is I took a break. As you all know, in life you have to take a break sometimes, but it was a great break. And coming back, I wanted to come back with a punch, and this one right here is truly thriving through the fight. Thriving through the fight. I have your girl Kenya, and she's going to tell her story today, and we want this story to be an impact for others who have the same experiences, similar experiences, or know someone who has. And so without further ado, I am going to welcome you to Kenya.
Hello everyone.
Kenya, I'm just so excited for her to be here. I want you to start off by telling them a little about yourself before your diagnosis and what your diagnosis was.
I'm just a girl from Portsmouth. But no, I am Kenya. I'm 38 years old. Born and raised in Portsmouth. Athletic background. Used to run track, play basketball, was a cheerleader. Delved into rehab therapy, exercise science. Graduated from Norfolk State.
Behold!
The green and gold. Let's go. There's so many things that I've done. But right now, currently, I'm on FMLA because of my breast cancer diagnosis. But PE teacher with Portsmouth Public Schools. Portsmouth Shines. Shout out to them. But yeah, I'm just over here thriving through the fight, like Miss Deborah said. What else can I say?
Well, you know, we got enough time for you to say a lot of great things. It's a lot, and I know that you taking the time out, being here with us today for everybody to see is a lot as well, and I appreciate that. So let us know, when and how did you first learn that you had cancer?
So, the C word, I hate saying the word sometimes, but
okay.
This is allegedly something that runs in the family. My aunt was diagnosed at 25 years old, so growing up, it's always been kind of a fear. I lost my first cousin to brain cancer. She was diagnosed when she was 5. She passed away when she was 9, so cancer has always been something that I wanted to advocate for, not knowing that I was going to have to go through this myself.
Yeah.
It always been a thought, like, what if this happened to me?
Yeah.
And then it just surfaced. So I've been doing mammograms for the last 4-5 years due to family history.
So let me stop you right there. So with the family history, doctors often ask, and they say you're more at a higher risk. Were they requiring you to do the mammograms every 6 months, or was it just like your annual mammogram?
It's just an annual mammogram starting out.
Okay.
I had cysts. You know, as women, our bodies go through a lot.
Yep.
So, I had a cyst.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't anything, and it wasn't nothing. A lot of us have dense breasts.
Yes.
Very thick
I do
tissue.
too.
So
yes,
it's something that's very important for us to make sure that we get checked, because something that may be a cyst, it could be cancer. So in my instance, I was keeping my routine up. Last January, I had my mammogram. Everything was clear. About April, May-ish
of 2024.
2024. I
Okay.
started feeling a lump, little pea size in my right breast.
Now, you know the doctors, and you all, this is important.
Excuse me.
The doctors always say when you're in the shower, you check, and is that something that you did routinely, or you felt something?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was just a part of my routine.
Okay.
You know, you're supposed to do that, so.
Right. A lot of people don't. You see, she said we're supposed to.
We're supposed to.
Yes.
A lot of people don't. But if you're not, make sure you are. And that's another story. I got something for that too.
Okay.
But yeah, routine checks. Everything was fine. Been fine. Then April of last year, I started feeling a lump. Just kept an eye on it. I'm just like, well, it's probably just a cyst.
So instantly, Kenny, you didn't feel alarmed to say, you know what, let me call my doctor. It not okay.
No, because I just felt fine. I didn't think it was nothing else. So May, same thing. I was like, I'll wait a couple of cycles because, you know, they come and go with the cycles.
That is true.
So I'm like, okay, well, it's still here. This is, all right, another month. I'm going to wait again. I waited like 3 times.
You waited 3 times?
3 times.
And y'all, when she says cycle, you're talking about the menstrual cycle, right?
Yes.
That is true because your breasts become a little tender and sore.
Yeah.
Okay, so you waited 3 cycles.
3.
Okay.
And at this time, I'm like, look, I know my primary care physician, she's about to retire, and I want to make sure that we check this out before she leaves. So October comes.
So we went from April
April
to October.
Yep.
Let's pause right there. What message would you give to somebody right here in this moment? And I'm not taking back what you could have done differently, but someone that's in the moment now, what would you tell them?
Go. Just go.
Just go.
Just
That
go.
moment.
Yeah.
Just go. Even if you don't think it's anything or it could be benign, just go.
Go.
Okay.
Advocate for yourself too, because they try to say you have to wait until you're 40. But because of family history, of course, with my aunt being 25, she's 30 years in remission now.
All right.
Shout out to her. You just have to make sure you go. If I could have done anything different, that's what I would have done. But again, I'm thinking that it's just a cyst. So I'm just like, whatever, I'll be fine.
Yep, April to October.
April to October.
Yep, okay. You finally contact your primary care physician. Okay?
Yep.
And what they had you come in, what did that look like?
So she just did an exam in the office. She said, well, we'll send it out. I know I'm not going to be here anymore, but we'll send it out. Here's a list of people in case.
Wow.
So I'm like, all right.
Okay.
All right. So I go, and then I get my mammogram, and then they call me, hold me in a little waiting room, and then they just like...
Okay, so the anticipation, so like me, I'm a anxiety-driven person, right? I mean, I do a lot of meditation, and that helps.
Yeah.
But in that moment, and I know the person that you are, Kenya, you are like, I always call you a beast. Like you the way you attack things, you know, with your mind, body, and spirit, your holistic approach. In that moment, what did it do for you psychologically? What did it do when she said, when they called you and you had to wait? How long did you have to wait?
We had to backtrack though, because after the mammogram, they do an ultrasound if they see something suspicious.
The same day?
Yes, so you have to wait in the waiting room. Then they do that. You get they're scheduled for a biopsy once you do the ultrasound. So you have to wait a couple of days depending on your situation.
Yeah.
I guess as far as appointments and things. Come back for the biopsy. They numb you up, and then snip a little piece out.
Yep.
You can feel it a little bit, but not too much. And then they send you out, and my chart, your best friend.
Wait. So it popped up in my
So
chart.
it popped up in my chart before anything. Ruined my whole weekend on a Friday, a Good Friday. I believe that date was the 15th of November. So I seen it. I had an engagement with my family that weekend. I just could not focus the whole time.
I'm going to stop right there. Hold up. So my chart is, if anybody knows, my chart is a form of a electronic medical electronic system.
Yes.
That you can always have access to. I think in this instance, my chart should not, because somebody has to input that into my chart, right?
Yeah.
So why would you find a diagnosis and then put it into my chart before calling them? Because people probably think that people don't check their my chart often.
Oh, I check mine as soon as it alert. I had one today. I'm like, oh, what is this?
See, and now you're probably like, oh my
On
gosh.
edge.
On edge.
On edge.
We need to talk. You know what? I want to talk to someone in the hospitals and see if they can alert you for different things. Now, when you find out about diagnosis, call me before my chart alerts me.
Yeah, so my chart alerted me first. So I had to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I knew I had a follow-up appointment from the biopsy on that Monday, so...
Look, okay, so Kenya, when it came back, did it say you have cancer? Breast cancer? What did it say?
It said a specific type along with a whole lot of stuff that I was just... didn't know what it was talking about.
My point exactly.
But the main thing that I saw was carcinoma. That word in itself, carcinogens, I knew it was something that I didn't want to take in at the moment, but I seen it and I'm like, okay. So like I said, I went the whole weekend just discombobulated. I couldn't focus. Try my best to enjoy myself with my family. We had a good time, but I wasn't there. I was there, but I wasn't.
Did you tell them immediately or you waited?
Oh, yeah. I told them. It was nothing to just not say. I didn't tell the world until after my first chemo, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Too. But yeah, that Monday, the nurse navigator called, and she was trying to tell me over the phone. And I'm like, wait, you can't tell somebody this over the phone. I'm coming in the office like
That's
my original
right.
appointment. So
Right.
when I got there, it was very high energy. My mom was kind of upset because she's like, you can't tell nobody no
Of
stuff
course.
like that over the phone. And I'm like, because I get it. You can't do that.
Right.
So we get there. Everybody is just heightened in emotion and just looking around at each other. And she's like, yeah, so you have triple positive inductal carcinoma. And I'm just like, invasive. This is invasive, that's what I say. I'm like, all right, so what does that mean? What does it mean? Like, what is this? So she's like, it's positive for estrogen. That's where the first positive comes from. The second is positive for progesterone, which is another hormone. And then the third thing is positive for something called HER2. And the HER2 part is a growth factor, what makes it grow based off the hormones. So
Okay.
very aggressive breast cancer back in the day, probably something you would never heard of with these new advancements. So it's just like, okay, aggressive.
So what stage is that?
For me, it was a stage 2B. It's different things, 2A, 2B.
Okay.
Don't ask me about that part because I'm
Okay.
still, brushing up on that. But I just knew it was an aggressive breast cancer that feeds off the hormones. And
Okay.
the HER2 factor of it is a growth receptor that makes it more aggressive and spread it. So I'm like, all right, so what we got to do?
Trying to figure this thing out, right?
Yeah, so they set up all my appointments.
Yep.
I meet the breast surgeon. She set up all my appointments. First of all, shout out to Bon Secours because
Okay, Bon Secours.
they were amazing in this journey so far. My breast surgeon, very amazing. Like, I couldn't thank her enough because she was thorough with explaining everything. Even though I tuned her out after she said I had to do chemo. But, yeah.
So with the chemo, that's so I'm gonna throw this in there. What was the celebrity?
Ananda.
Yes, I never can pronounce her name. Yes,
Ananda. She looked like Aaliyah.
she does. You know, her and Aaliyah were
Close friends.
very close friends.
Yeah, they look alike.
Yes. Just from following her and her story, she did not want to do the treatment, the cancer, the radiation and the chemo. A lot of people feel like when you do that, you're more subjective to, for it to spread rapidly, and, but some people say, no, I'm going to fight it. What was your initial reaction when they asked you to do the chemo?
Well, it wasn't an ask. It was kind of like, listen, this is what you have to do with your type of breast cancer. It's aggressive. You have to attack it first with the chemotherapy. And I'm like, really? This is small? You said it's small? Like, why we just can't just take it out? But I forgot to tell y'all, too, it had spread to my lymph node under my armpit. With that being said, that's why they had to treat it the way they did. So aggressive with the chemotherapy, I did 6 rounds of a regimen called TCHP. It has hormone blockers in it as well as the chemotherapy, 2 different types.
6 rounds.
6 rounds every 3 weeks. For me, the chemo, it was hard. It was a lot of mental and emotional things with it. But I knew I had to do it, so it was kind of like, all right, block that out. You got to do it. You got to do what you got to do.
But with your blogging, Kenya, and I know that it's what we see from the surface. Your blogging showed strength. It showed vulnerability. It showed the tenacity. It showed the sleepless nights, right? But it showed you showing up.
Yeah.
It showed, You know how like with anything, you make things look easy.
That's the first thing you got to do for yourself when you're in this type of situation. You have to show up for yourself. You can't get information like that and just be downhill, because that's how a lot of people don't fight, because they hear it and it's just like,
You're right. So, just talking about it, and knowing some family members, shout out to my Aunt Phyllis Chavis. She beat breast cancer. And my aunt, Mildred Mercer, she passed away from it, but she lived to her like early 70s. But shout out to them. Rest in peace, Aunt Mildred. But for you, I know that a lot of people, when they hear this, and even my mother-in-law, may her soul rest in peace, she had pancreatic cancer. But the moment she found out, she was ambivalent about doing the chemo and the radiation. But when she started it, it's like it made it worse for her. And I think it was more mental.
It's more mental than anything. Like I say, when they said it for me, I checked out. Like, I didn't want to hear that I had to do it. So I left out the office.
You left out?
I left out once we were done. And I just looked at my mom and I cried. I'm like, I don't have to do that. I'm more of a holistic girl. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm exercise. I'm going to do my herbs. I'm going to make sure I got to do what I got to do. Because, again, I've always been an advocate for it.
Always. And I know this to be a fact.
Close friends. One of my close friends was Shay. I just watched a lot of different journeys from family and friends. And I'm like, you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself. Everything is not preventative, but if you can, you at least got to work out and make sure you're eating right.
And you know what I tell, but I talk about you all the time. I mean, even before the diagnosis, this is who we always bought our juices from. Like, I mean, she always, whether it was working out for energy, I would call her like, okay, what do you think about this? She has every herb. She has every,
she have a medicine cabinet.
Yes, of herbs. Like, so when we heard this, I'm like, no. My husband, I mean, it really hit him. Like, he was like, man, I don't want this to happen to anybody, but why it always happened to the people, the good people, and the people that kept them up. And I say, it's always a testimony in everything. Because when I talked to her, I said she should have had the biggest juice bar. And that's not over with yet, because this testimony is a part of that. But the biggest juice bar around Virginia and everywhere, because this girl is nothing but the truth. So I know that's all a testimony within itself.
We'll get back to it.
Yeah, we will.
We'll get back to it. Like, this just has opened my mind to a lot of more things, but just focusing on
yourself now. I get it. I get it.
After this, it's up. It's up.
So, what has your treatment journey looked like so far? So I know you started out with the chemotherapy, the radiation, the surgery, right?
Surgery first. Radiation starts next week.
So tell us the order again. Find out the diagnosis.
All right, so I found out my diagnosis. I was officially diagnosed on the 18th of November.
Okay, 2024.
2024.
Okay.
6 rounds of chemotherapy. I had my double mastectomy. That was something I decided to do.
Okay.
I didn't want to just take away one and then have one, and then did have on the left side was benign, but I didn't want to take that risk for it to come back and be cancer. So
of course,
all right, we're gonna just take them. I said that from the beginning.
Right.
When I first walked into the doctor's office, I'm like, nah.
So you preferred that first before. Yeah. So that wasn't an option to just do that?
It wasn't an option because the tumor migrated to the axillary lymph node, which is the first lymph node out of the breast.
Got it.
So
okay.
They just wanted to make sure it didn't go beyond that.
Okay.
Or spread anywhere. My bone scans was clear. All of my scans were clear, thank God. So.
But Kenya, I also think that goes back to how healthy you are.
Your lifestyle does have a lot to do with your diagnosis. So,
yes.
You just got to keep doing it.
Because, Kenya, I'm telling you, I watch you every day. And, I mean, the type of strength you have given to people, just not with cancer, but the strength period of showing up for yourself.
That's all God. I can't take no credit for none of that. None.
Oh my gosh.
'Cause-
But God used his greatest warriors,
Yeah.
right?
I can't. A lot of people ask how.
Oh my God.
I can't sit here and explain because I don't know. Well, I know God,
Of
but
course.
I'm just like really chose me to be the example, to show other people what to do and how to do it gracefully. God's grace has just carried me from point A to Z.
Lord, we thank
So,
you.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's just that.
Y'all know I get all emotional and stuff. I'm looking at her, I'm looking up like this right here. What has been some of the hardest physical or emotional side effects you've experienced?
Just not feeling like myself. Chemotherapy does take away a lot of your cells, good and bad. And it's kind of, I looked at this whole process as a rebirth. So going through the rebirth of being stripped from good cells, bad cells, everything is just like, my part was just the physical.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about my hair. Like, my head was hurting really bad from the treatment burning my hair follicles. That's how people lose their hair. So
your hair was hurting.
Yes, it was burning like I had relaxer on my scalp.
Wow.
So irritating. So,
You were ready for the hair to go, like at that point.
oh yeah, I said, Mom, you sitting at the dinner table, Mom, my aunt over there, they just doing their own thing. She coloring. I said, we about to cut my hair. You sure? You want to wait till tomorrow? No, we about to do it now. It's like I'm getting ahead of it. I don't want to see my hair falling out. I think that would have been very emotional for me. I am, anybody who know me, lipstick, my hair.
Yes.
That's my main
Yes.
signature. Like,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, we not about to do that. So I went and got some pencil box scissors. I ain't had no other kind of scissors in the house. My mom does hair, so she like, you want me to use those?
Yes.
And I just took my hair and I just started.
You
snipping.
showed her, look, I'm serious. Look, if you're not going to start it, I'm going to start it.
Yeah, I started it and she just looking. I said, what are you looking crazy for?
Right. Come on. Yeah.
So I sat in the chair in the kitchen. She took that. I recorded it, posted it on TikTok for other people to see. You just got to be ahead of your own process at times, and I just felt like I was just stepping into a new
Rebirth. I like how you said rebirth.
yeah.
Rebirth. It's like anything new and unbecoming in your life. It's a rebirth. And you have to take it like, I love that. The rebirth. This is the rebirth of you.
It's a rebirth. God
Right.
gave me another chance, gave me new sales, gave me a new outlook on a lot of things. So it's a rebirth, and it's just to help other people I know.
Woo.
So yeah.
And I heard you say something about emotional. Now, how has your mental health been affected since your diagnosis?
Not really impacted. I just, like I say, how I process stuff in my own way is more so, okay, they tell you you have cancer. I cried. I went into worship. Got in the shower, going to worship. As soon as my feet touch the ground, I'm going into worship. It's just like, there's nothing else to do but to go and seek God's face when you know it's something that it's a trauma for me, like it's a trigger. You got cancer, what?
Yeah. And let's make it clear, your faith was greater before this.
Oh, this has enhanced it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thank God for
Yeah.
it. It wasn't, I didn't take it as a negative. I took it as a positive and just said, well, God just did this to show you more of who God is.
And you blogged a lot too.
Yeah.
And your blogging is more for others.
Yeah.
Because the sacredness you have in your own intimacy by yourself is enough for you.
Yeah.
But the blogging is for others to see and for encouragement and motivation to them. Now, let me make this clear. A lot of times when people do this, some people make it about themselves. And that's what I used to say. Some people deflect or they project.
Mm-hmm.
This is a time where people should take these opportunities and grow and build from it and not turn into something negative. So anybody that's, I call them negative Nancy's out there, keep that negative stuff to yourself. And even if you do, it's a projection of you and who you are.
Yeah, God will remove those who, like, prior to this, it's a lot of things, a lot of people that I was moved away from. And I didn't understand it, but now it's just like, well, I ain't gonna say everybody can't go, but everybody can go.
Oh, everybody can't go.
You have to have positive people in your space. My team has been phenomenal.
Yes.
Phenomenal. From my mother, my cousin, my aunt, my uncle, my sister, everybody. I can't thank my family enough, because we done seen this go in so many different ways. So it's just like, it's very emotional for everybody, but it's also a therapy in a sense, because for me, losing these people and then I have to go through it too, is just like therapeutic for me to process it. And I'm just like, well, God, well, maybe this is something that was supposed to happen to help heal me from the loss of my cousin, the loss of my friend, the loss of my family.
And this trauma comes with triggers, and so this was a trigger for your family too.
A trigger, trauma.
Yes. And you all, I often always hear you. I mean, even before now, your mom is your best friend. Like she is your best. She's your like favorite cheerleader. And just I can just imagine the moment you told your mom.
She was there with me
when you read the match chart.
Well, no, she was on that phone.
She was on the phone.
Yeah.
So I can just imagine, you know, as parents, we try to be strong for our children. And I'm sure her reaction was of strength. But on that inside, I know it's like everything probably played in her mind about, I can't lose I'm going to do everything I can. I can't lose my daughter like I lost everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same way. She was diagnosed with colon cancer.
Okay.
So I was in California on vacation when she found out. And she had to call me because she was like, I gotta call you. I can't keep that from you. And I just found out. So she was like, I'm sorry to ruin your trip. I'm like, you ain't ruining my trip. I gotta come home.
That's right. That's right.
So, yep, flight booked one way. I didn't care if it was $2,000.
I know, that's right. Wow.
So it's just reciprocation with my family, with my friends, the outpour, the love that you give to other people.
Of course.
They'll come back to you, and I've seen it in so many different ways with this situation for myself, and I just can't thank my support enough. Like,
and you keep saying that because guess what the next thing is? Support systems. I know this question you've already answered this. What kind of support systems do you have? Family, friends, community, online groups? Was there something someone did or said during this time that really made a difference to you? Was there something someone did or said during this time that really made a difference to you? Because I know this was a lot of people coming into your inbox, a lot of people calling you. Sometimes you don't want to be bothered and you're trying to get that extra strength to talk to someone. What is one thing that really stood out to you that somebody said that made a difference to you during this journey?
It really wasn't what anybody said. It was just what people did.
Ooh, okay.
Showing up for me the way I would show up for them. Some people didn't that were very close to me, but everybody can't deal with it. So I took it as that. I didn't take it as like a negative. I felt the way. Yes, I did. To this day, I will feel the way, because if it was you, you already know that chair right there, I'm gonna be sitting right there with you, through all your stuff. So we're gonna stay right here because often people run from this. A lot of my friends, they don't know what to say. One of my sorority sisters just came into town this weekend. I haven't seen her. I hadn't talked to her. She's supported in a lot of ways. But she was like, that was like the first thing she said. Like, I didn't want you to think that I wasn't here. I just didn't know how to deal with that.
But look how you looked at it. You didn't look at it as if, they're disregarding me. You understood from a perspective of, some people can't deal with it.
Some people can't, but God send you who you need in your space and in your corner. So the people that showed up were who I needed. Not saying I didn't need those.
Of course.
But they showed up for me. I just can't thank my team enough.
What would you want to say to someone who wants to support a loved one with cancer but doesn't know how?
You just got to show up. Even if you don't, it might be uncomfortable. You don't want anyone to feel as if you don't care. So even if it's something simple as just sitting beside me, you don't know what to say. Just be there. You don't have to say anything. Just be there. Show up.
Just show up, y'all. Just show up. Whatever showing up looks like
Whatever
to you.
that might look
yes,
like.
Because Kenya, let's be real here. Sometimes you don't want to be around no one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But then when everybody leaves, that's when your mind is speaking.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even at times when your body didn't want you to be great that day. Right? Like what did you do? And sometimes did you lay in it? Or most times did you get up?
Well, this is the most that I've had to rest. I took off of work. Everybody know I'm in that gym or walking or doing something Monday through Friday. And this is the most that I had to sit down. You had to really sit down and let your body do what it's going to do, because it's processing all this heavy medicine. Something that I don't like. But I had to turn that into a positive when I get my treatments. Look at that bag, I'm like, you got to do what you got to do. And just allow it to work. Now, I didn't have a full response 100% to the chemotherapy treatment.
Okay.
And I was disappointed in it when my doctor told me.
What does that mean, a full response?
A full response meaning your tumor shrunk all the way.
Okay.
So with my 6 rounds, it didn't shrink all the way. It shrunk, but it wasn't how they wanted it to. So that's why I have to do the radiation as a cleanup to make sure there's no residuals left. And I have to do something called immunotherapy, which is for the triple positive breast cancer, being that it had that growth hormone. If there's any particles of that left, the immunotherapy will attack that to eradicate it and make sure there's no reoccurrence. So everybody think after chemo is done. No, not for everybody. Some people, yeah. But I start radiation next week, the immunotherapy. I think I start that tomorrow. And that has side effects too. I have to keep getting my heart checked because you have estrogen blocker, which will stop your cycles and things because of the hormones that contribute to growth and making this type of cancer that I had.
That's right.
Grow.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
immunotherapy and estrogen medicines, I have to be monitored closely to make sure my heart is still functioning the way it's supposed to.
Okay.
I haven't had any issues every time I got it checked. So far, everything's been great. A little inflammation, which is normal to be on different medications. So, but.
And I know before here, at one point in time, you were vegan.
I've been vegan, fruitarian, vegetarian, pescatarian.
Even now, like during your journey, you will show us different things. You'll say, today I'm drinking this juice. You'll show us how you're making the juice. Like even during this process, you still been feeding your body the things you need to make sure your cells are operating.
Not every time. Because sometimes you can't eat. Some stuff you can't eat. You don't have the appetite. The medicines give you this metal mouth. You get sores in your mouth. Your tongue get thrushed. It's just different things that contribute to you not wanting to eat. But my older cousin, she coached me through to, and told me that no matter what, eat something. It don't matter what it is. So a lot of things that I tried to follow from my own practices that I do, I didn't, because you don't want it.
You don't
your
want
mouth turns different. Your senses is heightened. You don't, certain smells, different things. Ugh.
And look, I know your body have been through a lot, but God knows you don't look like it, Kenya. You know, people, you're welcome. People associate cancer with losing weight and, you know, your face sinking in and your, I mean, you don't look like, Kenya.
I was 180 starting out. Right now I weigh 164. I lost weight, but it's not where I look, sick.
Right.
I'm still thriving. I'm still healthy. I still feel good. Despite the changes that I went throughout this process with, not wanting certain things. I did juice a couple of times, but I learned from a friend through this community that fasting and juicing while you're doing the chemo helps with the side effects. So about round 3 to the end, my side effects started going down, but it was still happening. And my doctors ended up like cutting my dosage down by like 15% because of the side effects. So, I mean,
we're thriving through the fight.
Excuse me.
I know you're fine. So
this happens from time to time.
Okay, no, that's fine. Take your time. We are, making sure that we are making you comfortable no matter what. Now, I always take a break, like to give a shout out. Shout out to BabyBoy Photography, y'all. Listen, BabyBoy, you all know him. I call him the Portsmouth legend, for real. He gives back to the community, the youth, activist, advocate. He is everything.
He's been a good support of me, too.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good support. Bought my juices. We help each other out. Anything he need from me, I'm always here. So, what's your situation's going on, BabyBoy, I'm here.
Yes. And for real, like, we're doing, everybody that's been following me, I've been doing it live a lot, but I said, you know what? BabyBoy Photography has his own studio. I mean, he has a studio where people can come in here and record. You can come in here and take pictures. This is his set. We're here. This is beautiful in here where BabyBoy is, where he's located. I'm gonna make sure I drop below in the comments where you can find BabyBoy Photography. What he does photography. He does he's a DJ, videography. He does things with our funeral home, presidential funeral service. BabyBoy is well rounded and he's loved in the community. So shout out to BabyBoy Photography, for real. We appreciate him. We're gonna end with a few more questions. One thing is, what advice would you give someone who was just diagnosed today?
Don't look at Google. Stay off of WebMed. Don't go on TikTok. That's the first thing my nurse navigator told me.
Okay.
And I followed it. I didn't go look up nothing. I just started looking up stuff, and this is how many months later? Google can make you feel like you're gonna die. Let me just tell you that right now, because that's a thought that you have too. When you get a diagnosis and such, you're like, dang, am I gonna die? Like, is this gonna happen to me? Like, but God.
Yes, but God. That's it. But God.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. But stay off of social media.
Stay off of social media.
Stay off of social media.
Stop it. Stop it. Now, with that, are there any books, podcasts, or communities that help you along the way? So stay off of Google, stay off of the WebMed, but what resources or any cancer groups that you have joined to assist you, like people that share those same commonalities?
So I didn't join any support groups. However, my nurse navigator did tell me about a few. I don't recall the names.
What's a nurse navigator?
A nurse navigator is a person who basically guides you through your process.
Okay.
She connects you with your doctors. Any questions that you have, you go to her. She's like your first person.
So sort of like a case manager.
A case manager.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you can call your nurse navigator anytime.
Call her anytime. Text her anytime.
Oh, that's perfect.
I just did an interview about that last week with Bonsacor.
That is awesome. Did you request this, or they were assigned to you automatically?
They asked me if I could do it. Yeah.
Y'all, so listen. This nurse navigator, a case manager, they have many roles, but this is the role of assisting her through this process. And sometimes it's good to have that person who has experienced this with other people and relatable in so many ways. And I like navigator because not only just with cancer, having that person that could be a navigator for you, you want to identify who that person is. Because that person knows the things that you don't want to tell nobody else. That person keeps those secrets. That person gives you the raw information that other people can't give you. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. She's been very vital in my journey. I could text her right now. She's going to text me back.
I like that.
If she don't text me right away, she'll text later on and she apologizes for her tardiness. But it's no apology needed. So when Bonsacor asked me if I would do an interview for them, the foundation as far as funding to keep the nurse navigator.
Yes.
That's my give back.
Keep the nurse navigators, okay? Bonds of Court, you all keep the nurse navigators. These navigators, case managers, mental health navigators, they are important.
They are.
It's a lot going on right now with people from the top cutting funds and different grants. Don't cut this.
Yeah.
Because this means a lot to you all think we're the small people, but we're not.
Yeah, we definitely need a
Yes.
person like that, especially going through this journey. Any journey, I feel like with health, they need a nurse navigator because everybody don't know. Gratefully, I do a lot of research. I have books on cancer. I have a lot of things and personal experience with family that I know what to do. But imagine coming into this and not knowing anything, and you don't have that support or anybody to help you.
We're going to end by saying this.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to in the future, no matter how big or small? Let me read that again. What are you looking forward to in the future, no matter how big or small?
Just helping other women going through this. With my personal resources, things that I've learned in my process with health and wellness, alongside of things that I've learned through this journey to help others, because I know this wasn't for me, it was for other people. So, big or small, I'm always gonna go for big. But starting out, we gonna do what we have to do to get that out there, get the journeys out there, support other women who are going through. There's other people who don't have that support like I had. I had my community. They did a bell ringing for me at the school. I'm always gonna go for big though. I see the vision that God has given me. I see why I had to do this and go through this. So I just feel like I have that puzzle piece now for my business to expand.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be big.
And your business plan is
It's going to be big.
The preparation was already there. That business plan.
I had to sit out for a year.
Yes.
God makes no mistakes. I had to sit out. And then this came up. I had a lot of things happen before the situation and just back-to-back stuff. Now it's just like, okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see. All right, this is what I got to do. All right, let's go.
Let's go. So look, Kenya said, let's go.
Let's go.
Look, this is not just for people who, with the breast cancer, any type of cancer. Kenya showed her thriving through the fight today, right? No matter what it is, what you're going through. I can't wait for you all to see Kenya. Tell them where they can find you at on social media, because your blogging is
I was about to forget my own Facebook name. That's another side effect. Brain fog.
Okay. Okay.
But what is my name?
Kenya the Healer. Kenya the Healer.
I changed my Facebook name to that about a year and a half ago, and I'm walking in it.
Right. It's like right even before your diagnosis.
I'm walking, talking,
Yes.
living, breathing miracle. I've been that since birth. 1 pound, 4 ounces.
Come on now, say it again.
1 pound, 4 ounces.
You said something to me the other day. You was like, I know if I beat that 1 pound and 4 ounces, this cancer was not going to take me away.
No. It might have shaken some things up, but it didn't shake my spirit. That's one thing you got to keep high from the moment you might find out some information like that. You got to keep your spirits up and stay surrounded by people who's going to keep you lifted. You don't want nobody that's going to pull you down. I do get overwhelmed with a lot of questions, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
But you just want to be in a good mindset starting out when you get that information, and run with it.
Yeah.
Just stay positive about it. You are not your diagnosis. You're not your diagnosis.
You're not your diagnosis. Keep thriving through the fight.
Keep thriving. You're not your diagnosis.
You're not.
Even now, I started out working out.
Yep.
I started physical therapy after my double mastectomy. We getting there.
You are.
We getting
And
there.
you look good.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. And you know what? I want to say this to the people that have lost someone due to cancer.
Get therapy.
Yeah.
That's something I'm about to do too.
Yeah. It is. A loss isn't hard. I mean,
it's
no,
not
a
easy.
loss isn't easy.
It's not easy.
It's not.
It's not easy.
It's hard to navigate. It's hard to navigate through the grief process. That's what I meant to say. But
you can grieve a loss of a physical person, you can grieve
Mm.
your own body
Yes.
from being one way to now
Transition
being another way.
Exactly.
I have a journey ahead of me. I still have reconstruction to do, but I have to wait until after radiation, after I heal from that too. But it's a lot, and I just feel like therapist is much needed for everything.
Yep.
Not that I'm going crazy or nothing.
Of
like
course,
but
that's the misconception of
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
Something is you're crazy. No,
No.
look, it's real.
It's
okay,
much needed.
it's much needed.
much needed.
So
But I feel like my own therapist too.
yeah, because
I mean,
we inside our own heads a lot too
Yeah,
now.
but just talking about my journey, blogging, vlogging, whatever
Yep.
you guys want to call it.
That's what you got to
has helped.
follow her. Facebook,
Yeah.
Kenya the Healer.
Kenya
Are you
the
on
Healer.
Instagram? You anywhere else?
I don't know my just Kenya is Instagram.
Okay.
And then I have a TikTok too, but I can't remember if my name is Divine Essence or Divine.
We'll
Healer.
drop all of that below.
I can't
So look,
remember
we're gonna drop because I know after our podcast, people always have questions, and so we're gonna let you connect with her. She does not mind. We're gonna put her information below, and we're also gonna put BabyBoy photography as well in here. Okay. This is your girl Deborah with Talk Your Talk. I am so excited to come back with you all with such a powerful story, thriving through the fight.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're welcome. Y'all don't give up.
Don't.
No matter how difficult it gets mentally and physically and emotionally and psychologically, look, just tap into yourself.
Yeah.
And when that's not enough, I don't know what your religious preference is or who your divine person is or
Yeah.
who that someone is. Tap into them. Because a lot of people now, when it's tough, they make impulsive decisions that can take away you from a lifetime.
And you're missing a whole blessing in the process.
Yes.
I took this process as a blessing. So
Yes.
initially just like, okay, I'm
Yes.
blessed. This is a blessing. I get a rebirth. I get, to get new sales. I get to just show who God is, and I'm going to continue to do that. I do also have a support group that I came up with called Hope Heals. Is on Facebook too.
Hope Heals, and we're going to put that below. If y'all still have questions or answers, questions that needs answers or any feedback, still drop them. Kenya will make sure we get back with you. This is your girl Deborah with Talk Your Talk, where I'm back with you all on Thursdays at 7 o'clock.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Kenya.
you.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
I
Love you,
appreciate
girl.
you too.
All right. Y'all be blessed.
Peace out.